Here for Sean Ray TV. I am standing here with Eric Weider from the Weider Enterprise. Yes, the son of Ben Weider and the nephew of Joe Weider. We're at the premiere of the movie Bigger, which you've seen a few times, but I saw it with fresh eyes for the very first time, Eric. And I got to tell you, it took me on. I'm a historian of the sport, and I just walked out with a bit more history.
Oh, good.
I was telling Bob Chick earlier that more importantly, not just doing the missionary work of bodybuilding, but this was a love story between your father and Joe, which I believe is the nucleus of this whole thing.
Right.
We needed more time with this. You couldn't tell it all in that
That's the biggest challenge. That's, for me, the first time I read the script, that was the hardest thing. It's, you know, this is 70 years of two men's working lives, condensed down into a 120-page script, an hour and 50-minute long movie, and it's tough because they have to condense things, they have to leave things out, they have to create fictional characters that represent a number of different people, and it takes some getting used to, but I feel very good that they captured the spirit and the truth of Joe and my dad in the movie.
Well, and you lived it, and you were part of the latter half, I should say. You and I are right around the same age. You watched me come up through the ranks, and I'm not sure if you know the story, but when I got signed with Weider back in '87, it literally was a one-year contract that turned into a 16-year handshake agreement. We didn't have anything in writing, which I love to hear Arnold Schwarzenegger talk about, Jim Lorimer. But the fairness of your father and your uncle in the industry is that no, we don't have enough time to capture it all on a celluloid. But the global impact on what they were accomplishing at the time they were accomplishing is amazing, especially through the war. What did you take away from putting this whole thing together?
Well, I'm not really a movie person. I never had any interest in being involved in the movie business, but I wanted to have their story told. And what has been on my mind the last few years is something my father taught me, which is his saying is that all new truths, if it's a new truth, it goes through three stages. First, people laugh about it, then they viciously attack it, and then they accept it as obvious, as if, oh yeah, we all knew that already. And I was concerned that Joe and my dad grew up in a print era, and now we're in a digital era. People don't read. And I was concerned that we were at that third stage of, oh yeah, we all knew that exercise and weightlifting was important. Everybody knew that. And I was concerned that another 20, 30 years from now, they might be forgotten about the role they played. And I wanted to get it onto film and have it live on Netflix and iTunes for decades to come. And
well, for what it's worth, Eric, you guys captured the meat and potatoes. I mean, there's so many smaller stories in there in terms of the lives that they touch, but you got the meat and potatoes. I think the world will appreciate this, not to mention the people that are in other countries. I mean, the global impact is very impressive.
Yes, totally agree with you, and after releases in the United States, it will be released internationally as well.
Awesome. Well, great job, and congratulations.
I was very upset, though, that I was fighting to get you into the movie, though, but it was tough.
Let me give you a little segue to that, because there's a lot of things I can't be a part of based on my travel schedule, but I lived it. And there's very few people. I lived 17 years under Joe and Ben, and I knew them personally, and I knew you. So to watch something like that, being a fan and a historian, I didn't need to be a part of it. I lived it.
And you know what I remember is you didn't always agree with my dad and Joe, and I sat through some meetings where you were pretty vocally disagreeing with them, and yet the three of you worked together respectfully and as the way people should. You should be able to disagree with somebody without attacking them or demonizing them, and you always expressed your feelings, and I sat through some of the meetings where you did that, and my dad always respected you as a Joe.
When I watched the movie, I saw the storyline about putting Leroy Colbert on the cover, the first black. I got to tell you that before my career was done, I was the most photo shoot guy on the cover of Flex at the time that I retired, and I made the cover of Muscle and Fitness about 5 or 6 different times. So for me, they gave me opportunity to inspire others. So I appreciate the film.
Thank you so much, Sean.
All right, Eric Weider. For Eric, I'm Sean Ray, Sean Ray TV.